All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Tellor Community Call, November 3rd, 2020. Election day here in the US. Really exciting for those of you political hobbyists like myself. Um, it should definitely be fun. But yeah, as far as we'll just kind of jump right into it. It should be a relatively quick call today. Um, but thanks everyone for joining. Thanks. We got a few questions. The first thing, last week we introduced Crossy, and really we've entered this fun phase of Tellor where we don't have an imminent release. So like we're done with v2.5, and now the next upgrade probably in the Solidity code is going to be like Tellor v3, which is, that's like hopefully 6 months away or something at least. So we have an opportunity to start building out kind of other products. We have an opportunity to kind of button up the miner, some front ends, a bunch of pieces like that, and then really work on kind of getting into just the marketing and other pieces that aren't just directly code related. So it's fun. The big news is kind of over the past week. So we actually just finished up ETH Online, which was a really successful hackathon. We had how many, Mike? I don't know if you want to go over kind of
Yeah, sure.
submissions we got and who won and things like that.
Yeah. So we haven't personally formally announced it yet. ETH Online announced our winners. We were reaching out to them privately to set up calls with them, but we had 8 submissions for our bounties and 3 winners. In brief, the winners were actually pretty cool projects. One of them was a project that allowed you to pay gas fees using any altcoin, and they use Tellor to manage that. One was a satellite oracle called BlockSat that was trying to pair up cosmic events or events on Earth that satellites could see with pricing data. And the other one is I don't know what to call it. It's called X Liquidity. It's another one of these yield farming pools. But all 3 were really exciting projects. And for us, it was the biggest turnout we've had at any hackathon. And yeah, we thought it went really well. So, and I'll just parlay that right into the next hackathon, because that starts next week. We're jumping right into a hackathon called Encode Club. JG actually turned us on to them because he was a hacker at one of their events. The cool thing about Encode Club is that they focus on universities across the globe. So they partner with a ton of local, or not local, but universities and their like university clubs and blockchain organizations on campus and things like that. And they get huge turnout. We actually expect maybe even double the turnout at that hackathon than we got at ETH Online. I think it's really neat to try to capture this talent and capture an audience at such an early stage before they even get to startup stage. And so I was really intrigued by the way they do things, and we're really excited about it. So that one starts November 9th, and it lasts all the way until the beginning of February. So it's a really long hackathon. If any of you guys are students, I encourage you guys to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wraps up the hackathon thing.
Awesome. Yeah. So those will be fun. We're really looking forward to it. Some other just kind of another just announcement of something. So we actually launched Tellor Bounties. So if you guys knew, we had a bounties program for a long time, and this was actually just a Google share doc. But we actually formally put that, if you go to docs.tellor.io, there at the bottom, there's a bounties section, and it actually looks pretty, and it's not an Excel doc. So it's kind of the same ones that were in the Excel doc, if you were familiar with it. but it's going to be kind of a central place to put some bounties. If you have ideas for bounties, feel free. We can put those up, or if you want to help develop on Tellor, even if you're not a developer, if you want to create some content, there's a lot of different bounties available. So we'll post a link here. You can have another look at that. Other news, if you guys remember last week and the week before, we had been sending out a survey, developer survey. What should Tellor developers work on? We'll be publishing the results probably at the end of this week, or just kind of talking about them maybe more in depth on the next call. Long story short, we had 38 responses, which is really good. People gave, it was kind of a lot of free form typing of what Tellor developers should do. The highlight of what people think we should be doing. Basically, 50% of you think we should be working on vertical products. So just like not working on, like things that use Tellor, just building them out ourselves. And then about a quarter of you, so the other biggest category, think we should just be continuing to double down on kind of focusing on Tellor core infrastructure. So, making a better, faster Oracle. So, nobody really had a problem with like the miner or things like that. People just want Tellor vertical products was the big takeaway. So it was very interesting. And it seemed like almost everybody who did the survey had used the dispute center and the price viewer. So that was cool to see kind of the front ends getting used. Other things on kind of the developer side. So we'll be pushing out a minor release. So this will be like a big restructuring of the code. Right now it's in a draft release. If you guys want to go take a look. Hopefully you guys don't have to do anything if you were already on the previous one. But fingers crossed. So you may have to, some paths change and things like that. So there may be some small updates you guys have to do, but it relatively shouldn't have to do a whole lot. But if you're running, say, a fork of the code or something like that, you will notice some big changes as far as how the code is structured. Next piece for the miners out there, I'm really putting to use the new TIP, Tellor Improvement Process. We have 3 new proposals for new data points that we're going to be supporting. So the OGN price, the waves price, and then the CBOE, the volatility index, the VIX. Those are potential users who are requesting that Tellor support this data. So we have to build it into the miner and support it. This is the first time we're kind of using this process to where we put hey, here's a potential new price. Does this look good to everybody? And so far I've just gotten like, I post it and then you guys give me a thumbs up on Discord. I guess that means we're good to go. It's almost like one of those things with, there's like, if there's a lack of comments, it's good. So we'll be kind of supporting it. All it should mean for you guys is you'll just have to pull the indexes.json files, so a new list of APIs, and the miner should handle everything else. So hopefully it'll be relatively seamless, but it's exciting as we kind of continue the journey of supporting new prices for hopefully new projects that are requesting data with Tellor. And now, last 2 things. So if you saw, Tally, are you here? If you're not here, I can show. So we put our intern to good use. I think. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? All right, thumbs up. All right, so this is the voter balances. So we had our intern put together this, and it's an awesome little chart showing how the V2.5 votes went. So we had 2 no votes, and then basically everybody else voted yes. And this is on a log scale. But what you see is, so this guy way up here, this is the Teams wallet. Shockingly, there's people really, really close to it. But yeah, it went really well. Nice kind of even distribution of token holdings. A lot of people who voted for it. And we also noticed there were some people who voted with very, very little. A person voted with actually just 5 TRB. And actually we posted those addresses in our tweets and on Telegram. If you were the person who voted with that really small amount. If you voted with under 10 TRB, we want to give you a prize. We're gonna send you a T-shirt. So reach out to Mike or myself, because you rock as far as just, you probably paid more in gas. You probably paid as much in gas as you have in TRB. So it was great to see that some people were doing that, even though during some of the voting periods, gas prices were high. So thanks for your support.
That, like, the biggest thing that people say about token governance is they always say voter apathy is the biggest problem with token governance in these projects. And I think that that was a concern of ours too. But I think you guys all impressed us. I think we had great turnout, and even the little guys showing up to vote and participating is what it's all about. So,
yep.
And we even had some against votes, which was great.
Yes. Super exciting. Okay, so stopping my share.
Also, we had some content. We should mention some content was pushed out over the last couple of days. One was a panel that Brenda was on for Reimagine conference, and we're still waiting on the recording of that, right, Brenda?
No, that's posted. Yeah,
okay.
Somewhere in YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
So check that out. I'll make sure if it's not in the announcement channel, then I'll put it there. Also, Nick was on a panel as well at the Blockdown conference, and we tweeted about that a couple days ago. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's always good to get more FET content, I'm sure. And also, I did an AMA with ETH Online last week, and just recently posted that online as well. So plenty of more Tellor content that came out in the last few days.
Yep. And now for kind of the last announcement. So some of you have already reached out to me and have asked, what is Tellor Playground? Some of you have noticed we pushed a new repository called Tellor Playground. And here to explain, Tellor Playground is the creator of Tellor Playground. JG,
hello everyone.
Explain.
Sure. The basic idea is that it's really hard for projects to like quick test ideas that use the Tellor Oracle, because, for example, if you're in a testnet, you actually need to add the price you want to the miner, and it's a long process. So you want to make a playground, like it's a mock system that you can easily just add a value that you want, that you can read from any API that you want. You don't need that in the miner. So basically, if you want to read some data that is not on the miner and you just want to test quickly one of the test nets, you just use the Tellor Playground and you can start building your application without going through the TIP process. So which might be long because it needs to be included in all the miners. So that's the idea of it. It's available on all those test nets. I think the 4 major ones on Ethereum. And
What are the 4 major test nets on Ethereum?
Kovan, Goerli, Rinkeby, and Rapston.
Okay, I didn't know if any of them were deprecated at this point. Or we're just going.
Yeah, I think they all kind of work. I think Hopston is kind of almost dead sometimes, but usually gets back to life. So that's it. I'll be posting more documentation soon, and I'll also do a sample project. So if I will choose a fun API and build a project around it, just for example, and a tutorial, so people can, try it out.
So they'll be able to build their projects kind of just with the normal using Tellor package, and everything should work fine when they switch over to the normal one. It's yes. Tellor where you push your own price, basically, right?
Yeah, that's it. You just put your own price.
Yeah. So there's no really disputes or anything like that, because they're all, you would assume that you're pushing the right price.
Yeah. I mean, you can simulate a bad value. You can open and dispute yourself and simulate what your application do if a value would be disputed.
Oh, cool.
So that's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
But you have to dispute it and undispute it yourself. So.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Well.
They have to vote?
No. No votes yet.
No votes yet. Yeah, well, thank you for that. So yeah, if you guys want to go play around on it, I bet I bet we're going to get a lot of usage out of it, because I think this is one of those things that will almost just point hackathon users to right away, because it'll just be easier than having to like work with the miners on Rinkeby or something like that. Or yeah, I'm excited for it. So thank you, JG.
No problem.
Awesome. So now, Mike, I guess we can jump into the questions. Or
Yeah. So we actually had only 2 questions this week. And they're both kind of the same question. So we'll just count it as one, really. And it's about, I'll read the longer version. Has there been any interest whatsoever in projects using Tellor Oracle at this point? Seems like every random Oracle project has been lining up outside the door to integrate, except for Tellor. So if you haven't been around for a while, we get this question from time to time quite a bit. The first thing I'll address is if we have any interest, and we definitely have some interest. And it's the frustrating part from our perspective is we don't want to announce anything before it's imminent, before there's working code, and we know that if we do announce a partnership, it'll actually come to fruition. And we do that to protect our reputation with you, and also to protect your interests as people that probably trade on this kind of news. We wouldn't want to make an announcement and have it fall through for a number of reasons, as you can imagine. And so we don't play those marketing hype games. And that's pretty unique in the Oracle space or in crypto in general. And I don't think the other projects really play by that sort of ethics. And so you do see what you think is a bunch of projects lining up to use these other oracles. But in reality, there's not much substance to it. It's basically a marketing ploy that happens a lot. And we've had plenty of opportunity. We've had people lining up to announce partnerships with Tellor for months and months now. We've turned a lot of them down because we knew what they were. Once you looked into it and we had conversations, we realized that they weren't really meant to go anywhere. These projects didn't have credibility. So you guys have anything to add to that? That's our standard response for this stuff, and it's the honest response.
yeah, I mean, I think we always talk, because I know you guys don't get to see kind of the conversations that we have with projects, but you can even see things like the hackathon and people who are actually building on us products that would make sense. And this, just how far we've kind of come. And a year ago at this time, we were live, but nobody was really building on us, or people that would come to us, like we had like a few thousand people, like 1,000 people in our Telegram channel, and like if you had heard about us, we were super excited. Like last year at this time, nobody was building on us. We weren't really even considered a serious option for any project, and now it definitely feels as though we are. We're having these hard conversations with projects, and we've said it before, that to actually get implemented, it does take time. Solidity builds take some time, and we feel the pain as far as waiting on these projects to launch as much as you guys do. But we're just doing everything that we can from the development standpoint and from the business development standpoint to make sure that these things do get launched. So
this conversation also reminds me of like when Binance, or when are we going to get on a centralized exchange type of thing. It was just, we knew that one day when we were having conversations with exchanges and we kind of knew the way things were going to go, we just had to wait it out, and we were waiting along with you, and we knew that one day we'd be beyond that conversation, and one day soon we'll be beyond this conversation as well. So
and I'm sure there will be another conversation, then we can predict what that will be. So yeah, that's it's been good. The price has been really volatile, but we're kind of continuing to chug along and actually build great products. As we're making it easier for people to test. The miners getting really robust. The number of things that people are actually able to use Tellor for is increasing every day. So, we want to thank you guys just for kind of your continued support, and anything that you guys think we can be doing better, let us know. We're here to listen and make it happen. So yeah, that said, I guess there are no more questions. I guess we will see you maybe with a new president in a week.
Maybe he'll be on the call.
Yeah, who knows? So thanks everyone for joining. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.